Hello, and welcome to the channel. So today what we got here is we're repowering a 1964 gas 4020 Powershift. And we're going to be repowering it with a 404 turbo diesel out of a 7700 combine lay model. Okay, so what we've been doing here is this flywheel, it came off of the 4020 gas because being as it's a power shift, it's got to have the cold start clutch, which that's what that is. And so the big problem with that is it won't fit. Okay, so a gas ring gear has like 156 teeth and a diesel ring gear has 129 teeth. So the first thing that we had to do is take this down to the machine shop with the flywheel that came off the combine, so they had a blueprint for it. And they machined those holes there, machined out the ID here, and then to make the ring gear fit, they machined, I think it was somewhere around 300 thousandths off of that, and then they put the diesel ring gear on it, and they machined that for clearance for the starter gear. And took them a couple weeks, but they got her done and we got it on. Now today, what I need to do is I've got a battery that's not big enough, and I got that hooked up, and what I want to do is I want to see if the starter will actually engage. If that will engage, then we can start putting the thing back together a little bit and hopefully start getting it put on the tractor and getting these edges notched out for the oil lines on the block. So the pilot bearing, that's another good point to point out here, is this pilot bearing is the 4020 pilot bearing. It pops right into this 404 crankshaft. It's machined for a pilot bearing. So the 4020 is you wouldn't want to get one for like a 4430. It wouldn't work. It's different. You got to have the 4020 pilot bearing. And then I'm just going with the 4 bolts pattern instead of the 6 because that's what the 4020 gas had on it, and the way this is machined, it's just not going to quite work. So I'm just going to run the 4. It's just going to be up, I don't know, PTO tractor, mostly yard tractor. We're not doing anything too fancy with it. It's a 64 John Deere 4020, so it does not have a differential lock. I made a pilot bearing clutch alignment tool. It's special. It's 2 sockets bolted together. It fits in there, and then that fits in there pretty good, pretty snug. So we're going to use that. But first, what I got to do is I got to bump this over. So let's do that real quick before I get too carried away. All right, looks like we can look at it pretty good. So now I'm going to try to bar it over a little bit. Hopefully I don't. Oh. Damn it. Okay, this is. Easier said than done. I can't see the cylinder. Oh. Looks like it's engaging. Oh yeah, it does. It works great. Okay, so now that I've got that done, all I gotta do is put the clutch back together, and should be able to, in theory, bolt this onto the tractor. So let's work on doing that. Okay, so first order of business, I got my fancy pants alignment tool that I made here with 2 sockets bolted together, and slip this clutch plate on. I think it goes this way. I'm pretty sure. Flat sides out. I mean, I got like what, half a chance of getting it wrong. I'm sure it'll work. It don't have to be super perfect, but it probably does have to be on the right way. Oh, I'm getting get this on here. So alignment dolls. Let's see. So like no, it ain't gonna be like that. It's gotta be. Oh no, dang it. Let's see. Try this way. I'll try it this way. Oh. Okay. It's got to go on like that. It fits. All right. Okay, so I'll put our hardware in here and crank this down evenly because there is spring tension and all that. So crank it all down nice and even. Now the flywheel bolts on the crankshaft, I thought it said torque those to 90 foot-pounds. So I did. And now these outside bolts, I believe it said 35 foot-pounds, which sounds about right because they weren't really on there all that hard to begin with. Let's see. More here. Okay, the clutch is assembled. So I don't know if this is going to be adjusted. It seems to me like I had already previously measured off the gas block and kind of try to compare it to this. But yeah, once again, I don't know if this clutch is actually going to have to go back and be adjusted. Being it's just a disconnect clutch, it's more or less considered for cold starts, being it's a Powershift tractor. I don't know if it doesn't engage, or if it doesn't disengage, then I'm not going to be heartbroken, but I do need it to be engaged. That's the goal. Keep it engaged so it can work. If it, or the transmission can work. If this clutch works, as far as disengaging, I don't care really, to be quite honest with you. So now all we got to do is lift this beast up and put Faith in this Harbor Freight cherry picker, which I don't know how that's going to go. But okay, yeah, let's do that now. Let's put this thing up in the tractor and see if we can get it in place. so now what I got here is I had to make some measurements, make sure my clutch is going to work. So I took my flat edge here. I guess it's a square. It's an L. But I put that there, and I took my calipers and got a measurement from there to the face of the block, which would be, it's about 69 millimeters. And then I came over here and measured off of the block. I can't get a good picture there. Anyway, I measured off the block off this motor over here to the face of the clutch housing over here, and then took the measurement from the clutch housing to the clutch engagement and subtracted those two numbers from each other, which gives me approximately, it was about 78 millimeter, and this one over here about 69 millimeters. Okay, so that means it's going to be away from each other plenty far enough to where it is not going to disengage my clutch, which is what I don't want. So now all we got to do is keep moving forward and try putting this together, and then I'll show you the next problem that we're going to run into. Okay, so it fits. Great. Now we got one more problem. I was always reading on this subject, and they always said you got to have a 4430 oil pan, but nobody really explained why. Well, there's one problem that I can find with this, and that's this hole right here. Right back behind me is the flywheel. It's open to the world. A 4430 oil pan, or basically just a tractor oil pan in general, not a combine. It goes across and then comes down and then covers all of this stuff. It might even add some kind of structural strength to it. I don't know. I'm not really too worried about this because this thing ain't gonna be doing a whole lot. But so what I am gonna do is there's this piece of tin that came off of the combine that covered all that stuff, and I'm just going to cut it out and fit it underneath there, and that's probably just going to do it until I can find an oil pan that maybe someday will work for it, because they're obsolete. You call John Deere and look for an oil pan for a 4430, you ain't going to find one. And then we got to do the harmonic balancer. The first V needs to be cut off to fit the radiator shroud. I know that much. As far as a shutoff is concerned, I'm going to use the choke lever because that's convenient enough, and I'm pretty sure that's going to work. What am I going to do for the throttle linkage yet? I'm going to see if I can somehow configure it to go from the left side to the right side, because that's what I needed to do. Other than that, it's just going to be a lot of little things, I'm sure, that I just come across. But we're going to come across those in the next video because I'm calling it on this one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It takes me like 3 hours to upload a 15-minute video. It's stupid. But that's going to be the way she goes. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. And if you didn't do any of those things, fine. All right, well, until next time, this time's going to do it. Thanks for watching.